The laughter was sucked out of the Indiana Fever locker room 8 minutes ago. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull stepped forward, and the silence that followed shattered everyone. What they revealed about Caitlin Clark WNBA left the team in shock, paralyzed. A piece of news that hit them in the chest before their minds could even process it. An emotional bombshell that has already set the internet on fire and sparked a whirlwind of questions about the latest WNBA news. No one knows what happened, but the story is about to be revealed. The moment Lexie Hull's words came out of her mouth, the shock echoed far beyond that locker room. The news spread like wildfire, setting social media ablaze in a matter of minutes. Twitter feeds exploded, Instagram comment sections were flooded, and clips from the press conference on TikTok hit millions of views before lunch was even over. Fans dissected every frame of Sophie's expression and Lexie's tone, convinced there was more being left unsaid. Some swore they saw Sophie's lip tremble before she passed the mic, while others claimed they heard Lexie's voice catch when she said Caitlin's name. Amidst the chaos, the truth was a shadow, and the internet filled it with endless theories and speculation, a fire of rumors that seemed impossible to extinguish. In the midst of the chaos, Caitlin Clark rumors spread faster than the PR team could contain them. Whispers of a shocking incident behind the scenes and a private feud. Theories emerged about something that might have happened during the last road trip. Each guess was more dramatic than the last, all feeding into a storm of speculation that seemed impossible to stop. But despite it all, neither Sophie nor Lexie offered a single extra detail. They shut down every question with polite but firm responses, making it clear they were protecting their teammate no matter what. This silence only fueled more curiosity about what could have forced Caitlin Clark to step away. Looking back, some fans now believe the signs were there all along. They point to recent public appearances by Caitlin Clark, where her energy seemed a little dimmer. Shorter post-game smiles and more guarded interviews became the norm. Her once sharp and confident answers were replaced with evasive responses, especially about her personal life. At the time, most chalked it up to fatigue from the grueling WNBA schedule. However, a few devoted followers noticed subtle moments that, in hindsight, seemed like an alarm. A deep sigh before walking into the tunnel, a tense exchange with Sophie, and even an enigmatic Instagram story, a clue about what was to come. If you follow Sophie Cunningham's career, the weight of her being there to deliver this news cannot be overstated. She built her reputation as the fiercest and most loyal defender of her teammates. She's the type of player who would take a technical foul without blinking to send a message to anyone who messed with her team. When Caitlin Clark joined the Indiana Fever, it was Sophie who immediately stepped into the role of protector. She made it clear with her words and actions that anyone who attacked Caitlin on the court would have to go through her first. This loyalty made her Caitlin's closest ally. That's why her voice, trembling ever so slightly during the announcement, carried so much weight. That loyalty made her voice trembling slightly during the announcement carry so much weight. This was not a rehearsed PR moment, but a real human reaction from someone who spent the entire season defending the player she was now asking the world to respect. If you analyze the last few weeks, you can see how hard Sophie had been fighting for something beyond basketball. She publicly clapped back at critics who mocked Caitlin's slump. She called out what she saw as unfair officiating against the rookie. She even wore matching sweatshirts with Lexie Hull as a sign of unity before a tense home game. Her presence at the microphone felt like a personal mission. The unspoken message was clear. Whatever Caitlin is facing, Sophie will protect her from the noise. If Sophie brought the fire to the announcement, Lexie Hull brought a silent gravity that made the moment even more impactful. Lexie is not the type to seek the spotlight. She's known for her precision on the court and her discipline in the locker room. She usually lets her game speak louder than her words. So, when she stepped up beside Sophie and took the mic, everyone in the room instantly sat up straighter. Her tone was calm, but it was charged with that unmistakable tremor of someone holding back a wave of emotion. For longtime Fever fans, that moment was even more telling. It was a sign that something very serious was happening behind the scenes. Lexie and Caitlin built a subtle but undeniable chemistry throughout the season. The kind of connection you notice in the quick glances after a big play, the extra high fives in practice, and the way Lexie always seemed to be the first to meet Caitlin at half court after a game winner. That's why hearing her talk about Caitlin's departure was more than just a teammate statement. It felt like a personal loss. An absence that left an emotional hole for the roster and for the fans, and that shows how personal the situation truly was. In practice, this loss affected much more than just the personal side. What made the announcement even more intriguing was Caitlin Clark's complete silence. In an era where athletes break news on their own social media before the team even drafts an official statement, her absence from every platform spoke louder than any post could, and she had been active just a few weeks prior. She had responded lightheartedly to Sophie's teasing about her lack of social media presence, and she had posted her own behind-the-scenes glimpses from practice. The line that seemed casual at the time, "I prefer to focus on basketball, not likes," now sounded loaded with a hidden meaning. It seemed she had been preparing the groundwork for her departure. The impact of Caitlin Clark's departure goes far beyond a player missing from the lineup. This is not just any rookie. She is the heart of the Fever's offense and the league's biggest draw. The news of her absence caused the entire WNBA ecosystem to shift. Rival teams immediately revised their game plans. The media scrambled to rewrite storylines, and league executives worried about the impact on the playoffs. In the Indiana Fever locker room, the effect is equally real. Caitlin's presence changes everything, from how the defense rotates to the confidence of her teammates. Without her, the team faces strategic and emotional challenges. Despite all the uncertainty, there's a strange sense of defiance coming from the core of the Fever. If you watch closely, Sophie and Lexie don't act like a team in freefall. They act like players who are ready to fight harder than ever, with an extra edge in practice. They are rallying the rest of the roster in ways that don't always make it onto the highlight reels. They also keep Caitlin's presence alive by wearing her number on wristbands or posting throwback clips of her biggest plays, sending a clear message that they are not giving up on her or the season. What started as a sudden, emotional announcement has turned into one of the biggest mysteries of the WNBA season. A story that is as much about loyalty, friendship, and protection as it is about basketball. And no matter what comes next, one thing is certain. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull have drawn a line in the sand, making it clear they will stand by Caitlin Clark through whatever storm she's facing, leaving the rest of us to wait and see how different the league might look when she finally returns to the court. This mystery could change the future of the WNBA. What's your theory? Will this be a triumphant return soon? Or is something more serious happening behind the scenes? Leave your guess in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, that reveal the secrets behind the biggest names in basketball, like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything that's coming.